Prepare your ears, humans. Happy, Sad, Confused begins now.
Hey guys, it's Josh, and welcome to a special little Happy, Sad, Confused update. I wanted to check in with you guys because there's no official interview podcast this week for Happy, Sad, Confused because I've been film festivaling, say that 3 times fast, at the Telluride Film Festival in beautiful Telluride, Colorado. And while we recorded a couple episodes there, I have to hold them for a minute, and don't worry, the wait will be worth it. That being said, I want to spend just a few minutes, if you are so inclined and want to hear about my take on what it's like to go to Telluride, the films I saw, films that I thought were standouts, then this is for you. I'm going to ramble on for a few minutes and give you kind of a sneak preview of some of the big films of the fall and some upcoming conversations that you'll hear on the podcast and more. First, I want to remind folks, if you do want early access to all our interviews, etc., go to patreon.com/happysadconfused. We do event access, autograph merch, all sorts of cool stuff over there. So check that out if you are so inclined. Okay, let's see. Oh, one other thing I do want to mention before we get to Telluride, of course, is New York Comic Con is coming up very soon. I want to say it's the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Yeah, that Thursday through Sunday. I believe I am going to be hosting, moderating no fewer than 5 events, maybe more. Yeah, about 5-ish. We'll see where it all nets out. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce any of them yet, but keep an eye on my social media because these are really cool events. Some reunions, some panels for upcoming films, some live Happy, Sad, Confused, something for everybody. So check out my social media or New York Comic Con social media, and there'll be some more info on that very soon. Okay, let's talk Telluride. For years, I heard about this festival from anybody and everybody in the industry about how it was a cut above, a different kind of thing. Sure enough, it is a cut above, a different kind of thing. I've been to all the festivals. I've been very lucky in my career to go to Sundance, go to Cannes, go to Toronto, South by Southwest. They're all great in their own ways. Telluride puts them all to shame, I will say. It is hard to get to. It is elitist in some ways. It's expensive. And I guess for all of those reasons, or partially those reasons, it's all the more special because the people that get there really have to make an effort to get there. There's very little in the way of, there are no red carpets. There are very few interviews, people like me doing interviews there. It's really people there to see great movies. It is as well curated a festival as there is. It's a small number of films relative to most film festivals, but virtually every movie you see there is going to be good, if not very good. The lineup is secret until you get there. All sorts of fun reasons why Telluride is so special. So, this was my fourth Telluride in a row, and I will hopefully keep going as long as I'm able to because it is a special one. So, I wanted to give you guys a sense of what I saw there. I think I saw 15 movies. Now, I saw most of these on the ground, but some in advance, and I recorded 2 conversations. Before we get to the movies I saw, we recorded 2 Happy, Sad, Confused podcast conversations that are coming up very soon. One with Harris Dickinson, fantastic. Had never done the podcast before. Harris is lovely and so talented as an actor, but also is now a filmmaker. That's the first film I'll mention that I saw. It is Urchin, and it is fantastic. It is stars, I believe it's pronounced Frank Delane, as a relatively young homeless man with some mental issues, some anger issues, substance abuse issues, just caught in the cycle of the system. And it is really just very well done. Harris wrote it, directed it, and it is a really impressive piece of work for anybody, let alone a young man in his 20s making his filmmaking debut. So that's the first film I'll mention, and that is a great conversation coming up on Happy, Sad, Confused. I also want to acknowledge, if you're watching this, the juxtaposition of my Real Genius t-shirt while I'm talking about a film festival. Let's just put that out there. Let's just own up to it. The other interview I did was for one of my very favorite movies of the festival, if maybe my favorite. I'm not sure what my absolute favorite is, but let's talk BUGONIA for a second. BUGONIA from Yorgos Lanthimos. I'm generally a Yorgos fan. I know your mileage may vary depending on his films, but from The Lobster, The Favorite, Poor Things, Kinds of Kindness, a little out there, even for me, I'll be honest. But BUGONIA is great. BUGONIA stars Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone, and they did the podcast together. I'm very honored that they did that because, as far as I know, they did very little. I don't know if Emma did honestly anything outside of the pod while she was there. So that was a delight. I can't wait to share that conversation with you guys. These two performances are so next level, so amazing. They should absolutely be nominated. I hope they are. I think they will be nominated. You never know. But this is what to say about this. It's a kidnapping story where Jesse is kind of a conspiracy theorist who kidnaps a high-powered executive played by Emma, who he believes to be an alien. It is intense. It is funny. It is disturbing. It is sad. It is a lot of things. Its ending will be one to talk about. I loved Begonia. So that's a conversation coming up. So those are two of the 15 movies I saw. I'm going to go over the rest of them in no particular order. Let's just do alphabetical, okay? I saw Private Life, which is a great film from Sony Classics, starring Jodie Foster, speaking in French. She's an American who can speak French fluently, and she is a psychiatrist who is caught up in a mystery. Many different tones in this, but it's really my takeaway from this was it was really fun and exciting to see Jodie Foster front and center in a movie. She's just, I mean, as if we need a reminder, but she is one of the best. Great role for her. Really entertaining film. One of the last I saw there. I saw Ballad of a Small Player, which is the new film from Edward Berger. Edward Berger, who of course did All Quiet on the Western Front. Last year came to Telluride and debuted Conclave to much acclaim, which of course got a ton of Oscar love. This one's going to be more challenging, to be honest. I mean, I dug elements of this. I think Colin's performance is fantastic. So it's more divisive than most films I saw there. It is, on the plus side, I will say, production design. It is a beautifully made and crafted film, like all of Edward Berger's films. This is about kind of a degenerate gambler in Macau. And Colin, like you've never seen him, kind of unlikable, which is unusual for Colin. Colin is one of the most likable human beings on the planet. So I think people are going to be talking about the performance. I don't think it's going to generally hit across the board like some of Ed Berger's other films, though I'm still count myself a big Edward Berger fan still. And on a side note, got a chance to see Colin was like my spirit animal at Telluride this year. I saw him like 4 or 5 times, and is like one of the loveliest human beings on the planet. This is a small one. This is a documentary called The Bend in the Small River, or The Bend in the River, rather. Still thinking of a small player. This one's worth putting on your radar. This was not on my radar. I love the Michael Apted 7 Up series. If you don't know those films, one of my favorite documentary series ever, which chronicled a bunch of young British people at 7, at 14, at 21, every 7 years. He followed them. This is similar. This follows a group. This is an American group, kind of how to describe them, a little hippie-ish out there folks that have, I guess they've done 2 films that have chronicled these people that kind of got together. Um, I'm going to get all the dates wrong. Probably by now 50 years ago. Maybe it was the first one. Then they did another one like 30 years ago, 25 years ago. I don't know. I get all the dates wrong. This is one of the first films I saw. You can tell I'm rusty on my memory of it. But you don't need to know anything going into this. It's a really fascinating doc. Again, just seeing people chronicled through a large swath of time. Put it on your list if you like great docs. Blue Moon, one of the 2 Richard Linklater movies I saw that he has out this season. This is like many of the great Linklater films, a hangout film in its own way. It takes place all in one night at Sardi's, about 2 of the great musical theater behind the scenes folks, Rogers and Hart. I think I have this right, Rogers and Hart. Yes, so Rogers played by Andrew Scott, Hart the lead played by Ethan Hawke. I think I have that right. Ethan is fantastic in it. Andrew Scott, fantastic. Margaret Qualley's in it. Bobby Cannavale. If you love musical theater, if you love smart people talking about art, this one's for you. I really enjoyed this. Let's see. Next on the alphabetical list, I talked about Begonia. You know, I'm all in for that one. Hamlet, not to be confused with Hamnet. Yes, there were no less than 3 films at Telluride this year that dealt with Hamlet in different ways. I only saw 2 of them. Hamlet hasn't gotten a ton of attention, but I would shine a light on this one too. I really like this. This is with Riz Ahmed. This is a modern interpretation of Hamlet, and it is a lean version of Hamlet. This is not the Kenneth Branagh 4 hour version. This is like a 100-minute version, very contemporary. I would say Riz is really the star of this show, as he should be. He is, of course, Hamlet, and it's so fun to see someone like Riz get a chance to shine with one of the iconic roles. I dug his performance a lot. Hamnet, which you probably have heard about, and for good reason. This is one of my favorites of the festival, and will be one of my favorites of the year. This is Chloe Zhao. This is based on a beloved book that is a fictionalized telling of William Shakespeare's relationship with a woman who he married, had children with, and it is a tale of art, of loss, of grief. It stars Jessie Buckley. It is really the Jessie Buckley show. I mean, I don't know what to say. This is an extraordinary performance. This is one for the ages. Paul Mescal, also fantastic, as good as he's been as well. So this is another one where I think and hope both will be acknowledged. I would not be shocked if Jessie Buckley ends up our Best Actress winner. I'm not alone in saying this. This movie will probably wreck you. It will make you cry. It will make you sob. Take that for what it's worth. And Chloe Zhao, like, again, proves why she is sublime as a filmmaker in a class by herself. This is a really, really special one. The History of Sound is Paul Mescal's other film that I saw. It's him and Josh O'Connor. That's enough, I think, to get most people into the theater. This is another very sad film. Paul, I've joked with him in the past, likes to make very sad movies. This one is not on the order of Hamnet. I'm not going to say that, but it is enjoyable to see Josh and Paul. This is a love story, again, kind of of a tragic nature. To simplify it in the vein, a little bit of a Brokeback Mountain, but can't say it's at that level. But again, well worth checking out for those performances. Jay Kelly, one of my favorites of the festival. Jay Kelly's going to be on Netflix this season. I think it's going to hopefully get a theatrical run as well. It has to. This is from Noah Baumbach, one of my favorite writer-directors. This time he co-wrote this with Emily Mortimer. This stars George Clooney playing a big-time movie star playing a big-time movie star. There are similarities, though there are also some major differences between Jay Kelly and George in real life. Man at a crossroads that has made some dubious choices in his personal life. And it's George kind of at the center of a really interesting ensemble. It's a little bit episodic. Everybody kind of gets a chance to shine. The big talking point has been Adam Sandler, who is just so endearing and amazing as his manager. Again, award worthy. I mean, certainly award, like, nomination worthy. I hope Adam gets acknowledged. I think he's like just amazing in this film. Laura Dern, Billy Crudup, with a very small but pivotal role that will be talked about. Patrick Wilson, some great folks in this one. One of my favorites of the festival. Definitely, it'll be on my top 10 of the year. Jay Kelly, I loved. Megadoc. I am a sucker for a great making of documentary. This is about the making of Megalopolis. Francis Ford Coppola. Look, we are no stranger to great documentaries about the making of Francis Ford Coppola movies. You've seen Heart of Darkness, you know what I'm talking about. This one, fantastic. Mike Figgis, a great filmmaker in his own right, was kind of invited himself into it, but Coppola allowed him total access to the making of Francis's baby, his pet project, decades in the making. And there's some really good stuff in this one. Whether it's Shia LaBeouf and Francis arguing, Dustin Hoffman, John Voight, they're all in there to different degrees. Really fascinating documentary. Nouvelle Vague, I referenced two different Richard Linklater films this fall. We're lucky this year. This one's fantastic. I think this one's going to be more beloved even than Blue Moon. This is about the making of Breathless, shot in gorgeous black and white. One of my buddies, Zoe Deutsch, just kills it in this. She's fantastic. And really like a movie for movie lovers. Whether whether you've seen Breathless a year ago or 10 years ago, it's part of probably your film going DNA growing up. And it's a really, I don't know, it's a love letter to cinema. I mean, it sounds a little bit cliched, but it is true. And I can see a lot of people loving this one. I would definitely put it on your list. I dug it. This was a nice surprise. Pillion. Maybe you've heard about Pillion. Pillion debuted at Cannes and is what to describe about Pillion. This is, I believe the actor's name is Harry Melling. Harry Melling. He was in the Harry Potter films, and Alexander Skarsgård, one of our favorites around here. This is, to reduce it, a BDSM comedy. It's a very sweet movie. It is a very sweet movie. There is no, you kind of keep waiting for the shit to hit the fan in a movie of this type for someone to be like abusive and violence to enter the equation. This is just about the complexities of relationships set in the world of BDSM. It is, graphic at times, but like whatever, like that's fine. And it's like shines a light on a very specific niche world that like, I don't have a ton of familiarity with, but it's all very relatable because these are human beings and we're all just trying to connect in our own ways. It's very funny, by the way, just a very funny, sweet movie. A nice surprise. And I know a lot of people loved Pillion. Let's see, a few more, just two more, because I mentioned Urchin. Sentimental Value. Again, one of the best of the year. This is going to be talked about for the rest of the year, so you might as well hear about it now. This debuted at Cannes, won a big award. I now see why. Joachim Trier, who directed Worst Person in the World, fantastic. He reunites rather with his leading lady from that one, Renata Reinsve. I think I have that name correct. We're new buddies. We met at Telluride. She seems lovely and awesome. She's a fantastic actor. She's great in this movie. This is Stellan Skarsgård, the patriarch of this family. Has some interesting similarities with Jay Kelly, in that a man, an artist who has made some sacrifices and dubious choices in his life that have compromised his family relationships. A great ensemble. The two sisters, one of them played by Renata, who have been affected in different ways by Stellan. Elle Fanning, one of our faves, as the actress that Stellan is trying to enlist in the new movie he's making about their own lives. A very touching, smart, well-made movie that is justifiably, like, I don't know anyone that hasn't liked or loved Sentimental Value. It sticks with you. I've been thinking about it since I saw it. And I do think it's one that I will return to again because everything about it is really just fantastic. All the performances, I could see a lot of them getting recognized. The last one I'll mention that I did see is Springsteen. Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. This was a very highly anticipated world premiere, directed by Scott Cooper, really fine filmmaker. And Jeremy Allen White, what a tall order playing the boss himself. First headline here, Jeremy Allen White delivers. Absolutely somehow did it. Is it a impersonation per se? No, but you lose yourself in this performance. It is emotionally truthful. He sings when he has to and sells it. And you just feel he does. He embodies Springsteen. This is a small movie. This is a very intimate story about Bruce Springsteen at a crossroads again in his life, where he was depressed and kind of figuring out what he wanted to do with the rest of his life, personally and professionally. And it's raw. And for a biopic to kind of go to these deep, dark places, I really respect it. And I really enjoyed it. I think all the performances are great. It also has Stephen Graham, Jeremy Strong, of course, is in it as John Landau, his manager. That could get some awards love. Really strong movie. Really dug it. Don't go in expecting Rocket Man, or this is not a jukebox movie for good or for bad. This is a drama. This is an intimate character drama. And that should be no surprise if you've seen Scott Cooper's work. So those are the movies I saw. And that sounds like a lot of movies. There's a lot of movies I didn't see that were at Telluride. I didn't see Frankenstein, which had a surprise North American premiere there, which I'm going to hopefully see in Toronto very soon. I didn't see my beloved Claire Foy has a film called Ages for Hawk, and I feel Claire, if you're watching, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I'll see it soon. I support. I met the writer of the piece, the director of the piece. I met Claire. It was great to catch up with all of them, but I didn't get a chance to see it. So there's a lot. I didn't see a lot of docs I didn't get a chance to see, but those are the breaks. It was great to, by the way, see a lot of folks who were very kind that listened to the podcast, watched the podcast. So thank you guys that said hello. It was great to see so many familiar faces that have been on Happy, Sad, Confused. And I'm excited about all the folks that I'm going to be talking to. A lot of the actors I just mentioned in some of these films I will be talking to through this season. I guarantee it. Plans are in motion. So that's my Telluride wrap up. If you made it this far, congratulations. You got a gold star. I will be heading to the Toronto Film Festival as I tape this. This is like my 24 hours in New York between Telluride and Toronto. Don't weep for me. This is a nice life, but it's also a little exhausting. So recharging the batteries for a day. Off to Toronto. I'll be taping a couple really fun interviews, seeing a bunch of great movies, and I'm ready for more great fall movies to talk about. So thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, again, 5 stars. I will see you next week with new interviews on the podcast, I promise, from the Toronto Film Festival. See you guys.
And so ends another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Remember to review, rate, and subscribe to this show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm a big podcast person. I'm Daisy Ridley, and I definitely wasn't supposed to do this by Josh.